Hello again. Uh, this time around, we're going to be reviewing Cloud's demo on Upward. Looks like he's been playing Engineer recently, but I think he's playing Medic this season. But he asked me to go over this demo, so we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what he's been up to on Upward. And one thing I'm going to be doing in particular is I'm most likely going to be keeping this in third person because I'll have a better idea of what's going on around him since this isn't an STV. So playing in third person is probably going to be what I'll be doing here. It'll just be easier for me to look at his surroundings and see if he can respond to them properly. Just speed this up here.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
You're all right, Doc.
Mission begins in 10 seconds. 5, 4,
Okay, great.
2, 1.
Alright, so right off the bat, he's getting on the cart, which is smart, because that's always what you want to do is engineer on offense. You're primarily the cart pusher. Scout, ouch. Yeah, that's unfortunate that you were the first to die there. So yeah, your primary goal as NG is to be the cart pusher. Scout also plays a really big role in that, but he's also very strong to take in on Ubers and such, so usually having him in those is better while you're just staying on the cart. Already starting to take ground on hill. This is really good. Fortunately, all I can do right now is just wait for his team to get ahead in the gun, because right now the cart is about as far as it's going to get without his team Ubering in. So looks like they're going in right now. He's done his best to stay out of it and just keep himself alive. And looks like they forced the enemy team out, which is smart of them to back out there, as that's usually what you want to do when you're losing ground on first, because it's a throwaway point, so they take this pretty easily. 116 is a fine time for first. Alright, so because the enemy team's soldier probably looks like he died fairly early, or late rather. He wasn't able to get to them in tunnel in time to stop them, and so they've pretty much gotten the cart pushed out as much as they need at the moment in tunnel. They're taking all this extra gun, which is good. In fact, they're getting a lot of this uncontested. They may just cap this. Yeah, the one thing Cloud has to watch out for, which he's doing here, is that sniper on the tracks, because sometimes they'll hang back a little bit before retreating to see if they can get a cheeky, important pick there. So good on him for being aware of that. Alright, so that soldier up there on the bats, on the catwalk there, can pose a pretty big problem. You really want to get him out of there, so otherwise he'll be just shooting down on the cart. So his team is likely taking that ground here. And the enemy team really isn't doing a great job of contesting cart. Cloud's pretty much been on it the entire game without having to worry about getting spammed out or stabbed or anything, or sniped. So it's good that he's taken note of this and is playing on the cart. So Scout tries to stop them, gets a really nice shot on him, takes him down. And their soldier looks like he's about to bomb and stops the scout, kills him, but Cloud is still alive somehow. And he got arrowed, so his team won the team fight there. Oh, give me a sec, I gotta... Yeah, so he's literally just been sitting on the cart. Nobody's been contesting him, so... Right now, he's doing all that he has to do, which is be somebody on the cart. so that his team doesn't die, or so his team doesn't lose ground. Because when your team pushes up all the way and the cart is still like lingering, then they'll have to go back and push the cart, and they may end up losing ground. But Cloud's just been sitting on the cart here. So I'm not sure where his combo went. Looks like they got forced actually. I imagine Gong was an upper. Ah, okay, you know what? Gong had died a bit early there, and while his team was trying to take upper, they kind of got stuck. But it looks like their soldier's still behind, so I guess you'll have to run away and deal with him later. A lot of times when players are trying to spawn camp you like right there, something that you can do is just play near the play in your spawn, because you have the health advantage. If they get a good shot on you, you can just walk back and resup. And yes, that soldier has that health pack, but you can just keep bullying him until he dies. And looks like he managed to keep you there for a very long time. So just hanging back and chipping him until somebody can come help you is usually the better call there, because him dying is a lot more valuable than you dying. So it's better to try to get him dead. I mean, it's better to kill him than to have him keep killing you, just not having your team deal with it. Because he was there for like a good minute or so. He could have taken, and your team could have taken ground off off. Your team that was alive could have taken ground off that, but they didn't. So. Alright, so a lot of frags seem to have been traded off just now, but looks like Johnny actually died there. The Pyro on the other team. In fact, a lot of the players are dying, so Cloud is pretty much pushing, helping his team push out all of the players in tiles, and this is really what you want to do. Which is come in behind all of the power classes, especially through those tight spaces there, and clean up damage and take additional ground. So he set up a mini down there, which isn't necessarily very a common spot, but it actually did manage to catch out the soldier there. And one more kill too, it looks like, so. And then he just caps, so. Cloud played that really well. That's not to say the enemy team didn't play very poorly. In fact, they probably played poorly a lot more than this team played better, or played well. And Cloud just did a good job of taking advantage of that and keeping himself glued to the cart for almost the entire map. And 6:47 is a pretty good time too. It looks like they kind of got stuck while pushing last, but it's no big deal.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
Backing up. Go on, hit. Erecting a dispenser.
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard Jag effect rollout on defense. Looks like he's got all of his stuff up at a level that is good. I usually hold off on upgrading the dispenser on first. I mean, right now it's at level 2, which is really all you need. Chances are it won't live very long, so it's better off directing your resources towards protecting your gun and watching for spies. One of the things that could potentially threaten your combo, and you. So it looks like their spy ran all the way back to their spawn to sap the telly, and that's a very useful call, because it allows that means he's in a very predictable position, because chances are after this he's going to be in position to sap your gun, and that gives your Pyro a very large window of time to get into position and to prevent the spy from sapping your gun. So a lot of spies will like to come in from the upper area there. Would like to come in from the upper area, and for the most part, will come in when their combos are bringing to sap the gun. Right now, it looks like their spy hasn't been doing that effect. I'm not sure if he went down or not. I wasn't really looking at the kill feed there. But enemy team is just staggering players in really well, and Cloud's doing a good job of keeping his gun alive, and his Pyro as well is doing a good job of keeping pressure on those players to keep them off the gun. So really, right now, the number one thing Cloud has to worry about is the spy who keeps poking at him, trying to get this gun. But honestly, a well-coordinated bomb to sap could take his gun down quick, so he has to be smart. But the spy did get the medic, so that's also a very, very good pick there. So they may have to retreat because of this. So that's usually pretty smart. What you want to do is keep your gun wrangled so you can tank as much of the Uber as possible and allow your teammates time to escape. And it did end up going down, and he just got out unharmed. So it's better to keep yourself alive than it is to keep your gun alive and make the flashy play and put it on Reddit. So his medic did die at a pretty bad time, unfortunately. So at this point, in fact, all of his combo members did. I wish that most of his team was able to got out earlier, because Cloud did do a good job of keeping them at bay. And it looks like blue team, I think that's BV, so it looks like BV was able to take Hill pretty easily there because of how little contention there was, or contest. I don't know. They were doing. The Cloud team didn't do a great job of fighting it because they were down a lot of players. Fortunately, third point is also a very strong point that you can hold. If you lose first and second quickly, it's not really the end of the world. A third is probably one of the stronger holds on this. Is definitely one of the stronger holds on this map, aside from last. Calls out that spy. Hopefully he's dealt with soon. Looks like he did kill somebody. I don't know what class Samus plays, but a lot of Cloud's teammates are being dropped in this Uber. There's not a whole lot he can do, unfortunately. So he's just hanging back and making sure his gun is alive, because usually in these post Ubers, your teammates start backing up here, and that provides a good window, and that gun allows them to escape properly, and that's unfortunate. If he didn't unwrangle the gun there, that gun would have been able to shoot the soldier. So just bad timing. And right now, nobody on his team is contesting the cart. It actually seems to be like the exact same thing that was happening on when Cloud was on offense. Is that there's just no pressure on the cart at all or their combo, and Gong is just playing very far back. He's normally, in Gong, their demo should normally be the #1 factor in making sure the gun stays alive. So Cloud actually could have grabbed his gun there if he didn't expunge all his metal trying to repair it, but his team has already lost so much ground. It may have been wiser to just let it go down and just use the extra mobility not carrying a building gives you to just get out. Although if he did carry it with him, he could have set up in tiles where his combo is right now, and that would allow them a larger blanket of security when holding up there. You just can't get the gun pushed in as far if you have the gun there, because it watches pretty much the entire entryway into last. But right now, the spy is sapping his dispenser that normally blocks access to his gun, and it looks like he did call it, but he's getting dived here. And in a situation like that, there's not a whole lot you can do except rely on somebody to come give you a hand. When your gun is sapped, you're pretty much a sitting duck for the soldier to just jump in and destroy you with a couple rockets. Oh lord, that's annoying. Yeah, so his team has just been losing a lot of ground for free because they haven't been able to keep their Uber, and it's just going to allow them, and they just won't be able to hold this ground as easily. But Cloud made the smart decision to switch to mini sentries here. When the enemy team is pushed in this far, you really don't have time to set up a gun because it'll likely get focused down anyway. So he's opted to use his shotgun and his mini sentry, which is almost always a smarter option. However, once that cart starts rolling back and his team starts to take more ground, then it should be. I'm gonna switch to first person here. Then it'll be wiser to switch back to level 3s because then you'll have more time to set up. So right now nobody's on the cart, and that should have been, if nobody's on the cart there, then it should be Cloud's job ideally. Because the rest of his team has to keep that ground in tunnel, and that player jumping on the cart there was pretty crucial to his team dropping out of tiles, and it allowed the enemy team a really big window of time for them to just get onto the cart there. And none of the players are alive, so they just get the cart pushed in. So usually when the cart is that close, you need to have somebody on it at all times. It can be anyone. Ideally, like the best classes are probably the spy, the heavy, and the pyro, but anyone can do it. Engie is a good one too, especially if you have a mini sentry watching another point. Sometimes what I like to do personally is I'll put my mini sentry here. Let me just go ahead and explain this. So generally, when the cart is around this area here, what I like to do is put a gun. Whoops. What I like to do is put a gun right here, and then I'll set up my dispenser right here again. And assuming the cart's like around here, if you stand on it right here, the sniper won't be able to shoot you. The only thing that could get you would be like a demo or a soldier spamming you, but if your combo is smart, they should be on that really easily. And the mini sentry pretty much watches everything coming around this corner here. So I think it actually starts shooting even when you're at this point here. But once you round this corner and you're on the cart, like anywhere here, except for like right behind it, the mini sentry will see it and start shooting them. So even if you're positioned like down here where the heavy normally stands, or you're on the cart like this, you're basically watching this section, or you're basically watching this section of the cart while your mini sentry watches this section, and then anybody who's probably like back around here, or maybe like something that flanked from under and is now like over here, so the mini sentry can watch that. And the best part about that mini is that you really have to, a demo really has to commit to destroy it. Let's go ahead and, so a demo can just land like he'll have to, like if your combo, like let's say their demo is holding up here, and he's gonna have to like lob a few stickies over there, but it looks like from what I saw in the demo, your team actually had tile control, and so when Uber was being traded up there, especially, and your team still had a positional advantage, and you were kind of just sitting right over there. So what you could have done would just be sitting near the cart here while having your mini sentry up there, or even like on the lower area here too, but up here is just better for security reasons. It's just harder for a demo to get to if he's fighting a combo at the same time. And a soldier can bomb it, yeah, but that's, after that your team has to deal with that soldier because you're low health, low mobility, there's not much you can do. But that's pretty much it for that demo, honestly. I think you played really well on offense. Just a few of the team like as a whole, the team's decisions were pretty poor on defense. Nobody just contested the cart very often, but otherwise that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching.